My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. We break down full UFC fight cards every single week, giving you our picks, predictions, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And if you want $50 free, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners who all offer their own promotions, their own matches, and their own giveaways. And then on top of that, after you sign up and after you make a deposit, we send you $50 however you want it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, wewantpicks.com/bets. Next up at UFC 275, we have Hayisaer Maheshate, and he's taking on Steve Garcia. Hayisaer Maheshate is 6-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he is making his official UFC debut. Steve Garcia is 12-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, with all 4 of those wins being by stoppage. Hayisaer Maheshate is only 22 years old, and he only has 7 fights, but he has the composure of a veteran. He's coming off a Dana White Contender Series win where he was a plus 1,000 betting underdog. He was dropped early in that fight, like dropped hard and dropped early, but he still won that fight and became the first ever Chinese fighter to win a Dana White Contender Series contract. Style-wise, he's a fun, creative striker who can hang in a firefight or dance on the outside in a technical kickboxing match. He mixes in traditional mixed martial arts techniques like side kicks with flashy ones like spinning or step-in elbows. If you let him dictate the pace, you could have a long night. But if you stay in his face and you push forward, you can actually have some success getting to his chin. Steve Garcia was a featherweight for his entire career, but he's made the move to lightweight for the UFC. He's a solid grappler with good takedowns and decent boxing. He likes to come forward with big strikes, and he uses those to set up his grappling. Steve has been really vocal here that he's going to keep the pressure on, stay in Maheshate's face, and not give him any room to breathe. Literally says, the dude has 7 fights, and I'm going to exploit that. He was very open about he's going to work in his grappling, and I'm honestly pretty confident that he will do all of those things. I think it's a tricky fight because Maheshate is so inexperienced but does have composure, so we're not positive how he's going to react in all situations, and we did just watch him survive getting dropped early. But the reality is I do think Steve Garcia is going to get in his face, stay in his face, and it's just going to be too much. I think it's too much too soon for Maheshate. As long as Steve avoids, trying to fight a nice striking match with this guy, I think he'll have some success. I think he gets it done. I should have bet this line. It was like minus 140, something like that last week, and now it's ballooned up to minus 180. I'm not touching it at minus 180, but Steve Garcia is definitely the pick. What do you think, Jacoboy?
Yes, speaking of getting dropped early, Steve Garcia in his last fight versus Charlie was dropped 12 seconds into the fight. 7 seconds later, he was dropped again. I think in the second, he was dropped again. I mean, that guy was getting dropped left and right, and for whatever reason, Charlie, a non-wrestler, non-grappler, kept following him to the ground, was like chasing like mounted guillotines. He was doing stupid stuff, and Ryan Garcia was able to eventually get him on his back after every time he was dropped. It was kind of like the, actually, I'm not going to say it because I was going to trash my guy, but it was a strategy of like, let me find any way possible to get to the ground, basically, even if I get knocked out because of it. And I know Maheshate was knocked out, but he showed how tough he was and resilient he was in that fight. And obviously, Garcia did the same thing, but those knockdowns were bad. I mean, that was like he didn't know what he was doing in the striking type of knockdowns. And Maheshate, I don't think he's going to have the same power as Charlie, but he's got the same dynamic type of striking. That guy will throw strikes from everywhere. He is a dog in his own right. If Garcia, if I knew that he was just going to wrestle, and we don't really know how Maheshate's wrestling is. I assume it's decent, probably not as good as Garcia's. So if Garcia came in and just immediately just started shooting takedowns. I mean, I think he did in his last fight a couple times, honestly. But if he was going to just wrestle heavy, this is almost like the Brendan Allen. I mean, this is Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis, I feel like. If Brendan Allen was just going to wrestle Chris Curtis, he would have had no issues in that fight. But he tried to stay in with them, and he got in trouble. I see the same thing happen with Steve Garcia, especially if he's like, because I think I saw the same quote, like, I'm going to finish this guy, I'm going to TKO, whatever it is. If he stands with Maheshate, he's going to get knocked out. I mean, he's a chinny dude that just needs to wrestle. So I think he's going to be in trouble. He was able to out-wrestle a guy that's pretty much clueless on the ground in Charlie. I mean, Kevin Holland was out-wrestling and out-grappling Charlie. So he had a very, very high advantage in that fight. He probably has the advantage again in Maheshate in this fight, in the wrestling, in the grappling. But if he tries to strike with him, he's going to get knocked out. And I see him trying to pay-per-view card in front of the fans. Let me strike a little bit. I don't know if this is going to be a lock of the week situation. I like the underdog in Maheshate. He does have some sneaky kicks that I love. That might get him in trouble with the grappler, maybe with the wrestling, be able to take down. But Maheshate, he's a dynamic striker, man, and I like him to catch Steve Garcia, just like Steve Garcia was getting sharded and caught it in his last fight. So,
all right, we're split on this one as well. $7,800 in DraftKings. You spending that money on Maheshate?
No, because I'll tell you what, I have a bet on this fight. It is on Maheshate inside the distance, decision, no action. He showed how tough he was. He might get out wrestled for 3 rounds. I got that for plus 160. I put 1.5 units on it. Inside the distance, decision, no action on Maheshate, plus 160.
That's a great bet. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, well, first go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. BetOnline is the only partner that offers this. And what that bet means is if Maheshate stops Steve Garcia, Jacob will get played out at plus 160, which is actually better than the money line odds. If Maheshate loses a decision, Jacob gets a refund. That bet never happened. They give you your money back. They say, okay, no problem, no action. Here's your money back. So it's a really nice safety net bet, and it's perfect for situations like this where you have somebody who is live for a stoppage, but they are very durable and will not get stopped. Even if they get mauled, this dude could get mauled for 3 rounds. As long as he doesn't get stopped, Jacob can't lose any money. So that's a solid bet. wewantpicks.com/bets. You're only going to get that bet if you go to BetOnline. And if you use our link, I'll give you $50 as a thank you. So you're not doing it in DraftKings because you spent some real life money on it. But listen, this is another fight. They're pretty appropriately priced, frankly. The DraftKings money is much closer than the betting money. And if you think Steve Garcia mauls Maheshate, he's probably solid for your lineup. You get a bunch of takedowns, a bunch of control time. If you think Maheshate gets the stoppage, $7,800, great. That's money well spent. So I think you can't go wrong in DraftKings if you feel firmly on one side or the other. And then total strikes 45 to 76. That's a really tough line because if Steve Garcia works in takedowns, he should get the 76, no problem. Maheshate has been proven to be tough, so he likely will get past 45. I think it's a more. I do think Steve gets the takedowns, beats him up on top, gets past the 76. You're obviously on the other side of that fight, so you think it's less?
Yeah, but I still, I mean, he could find that the big punch late or the flying knee or the wild kick late too. Maybe Steve does come out and wrestle him early. Chris did a great job with these lines. Every time I keep looking at these lines, I'm like, man, these are good lines. So, screw you, Chris.
Well, and Chris is the guy at Monkey Knife Fight who sets the lines, if you wonder who Jacob's cursing out. But check out Monkey Knife Fight. It's not even just these lines. They have something called Knockout Kings, which is incredible. Check it out at wewantpicks.com/MKF. It's daily fantasy.
Knockout Kings for this card would be incredible.
Guaranteed.
Sign up.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, sign up for Monkey Knife Fight. You pick 3 people.
Double up the main event. You're done.
Yeah. If you pick 3 people, well, Glover could be a sub, but pick 3 people. If one gets a TKO or a KO, you win money. I mean, and you can easily pick 3 people, and one person's going to get a TKO.
We did it last week. Last week I made a fortune. All I had to do last week, and I told all of you to do the same. I said, go to wewantpicks.com/MKF, sign up. They'll match your deposit. Take however much money you're comfortable betting. It's fantasy, so it's not called betting, and put it on Knockout Kings for Alonzo Menafield and the dude with the sketchy record. Bang, cashed, done.
Yeah,
it was a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
guaranteed. Because you can do any 3
fighters. If you guys haven't signed up, I literally don't know what you're doing. I know you guys think, oh, Monkey Knife, like, what the hell is this? I mean, it's free money, guys. It's like, sign up. Jesus.
Yeah, and we're talking Knockout Kings. That's their prop game inside of their prop game. So anyway, Check that out and join our free Discord and let us know in the free Discord what some of your favorite picks and plays are, because we're all here to make money together and learn from each other.